The millionaire invited the black cleaning lady as a joke. She arrived like a diva, and everyone was in absolute shock when they found out who she really was. The main hall of the Blackwood mansion exploded with malicious laughter when Victoria Sterling descended the marble staircase wearing a dress that cost more than most guests' annual salaries. It wasn't admiration. It was pure mockery. "Look who decided to show up," Richard Blackwood whispered, raising his champagne glass. "Our dear cleaning lady." Victoria, 35, never imagined entering that ballroom as a guest. For 2 years, she'd cleaned every inch of the mansion, always invisible, always silent, watching rich people treat each other with false courtesy while treating her like furniture. The invitation arrived 3 days earlier. "Charity Gala Saturday," Richard said, handing her the gold envelope with a cruel smile. "Dress code maximum elegance. You have something suitable, don't you?" His friend's laughter echoed through the hall. It was a trap to humiliate her publicly. Richard had even invited reporters to document this educational moment. "Let's bet $100,000, Richard told his wife Helena while Victoria vacuumed. "She won't show up. If she does, she'll be evening entertainment." Helena laughed maliciously. "The poor thing will wear something borrowed and leave within 15 minutes. But Richard didn't know 2 things about Victoria. First, she'd grown up in halls like this before cleaning them to survive. Second, some storms teach you to dance in the rain. Walking through mocking glances, Victoria kept perfect posture and serene gaze, carrying secrets that could destroy this world. Her steps were calculated, part of long-rehearsed choreography. "My God, she actually came," whispered Patricia Weston, a senator's wife. "Where'd she get that dress?" "Probably rented it on installment," sneered Vivian Chambers, an oil magnate's daughter. How pathetic. Unknown to them, Victoria hadn't bought, borrowed, or rented the dress. She'd retrieved it from her past, a past Richard would erase if he knew. Richard approached, chest puffed with arrogance, surrounded by billionaire friends. "Victoria, what a surprise. When someone like you gets such an invitation." "Someone like me," Victoria repeated, her calm voice cutting like silk. "Finish your sentence, Richard." He hesitated momentarily at her firm tone, but arrogance returned. "Well, someone not from this environment. You must feel intimidated by all this elegance." Victoria smiled dangerously. "Intimidated? No, Richard. I'm exactly where I've always belonged." The brief silence changed the party's atmosphere. Something in Victoria's demeanor defied all expectations. Richard cleared his throat. "I hope you enjoy the evening. It should be educational for you." "Oh, it will be educational for everyone," Victoria replied, scanning guests like cataloging faces for future use. "Everyone," Richard announced, tapping his glass. "Our special guest, Victoria, our cleaning lady." Cruel laughter echoed. Phone cameras flashed as socialites took photos for sarcastic social media posts. "Richard?" Helena feigned concern. "Aren't you being cruel?" "Cruel? I'm giving her the opportunity of a lifetime." Richard laughed. Victoria stood motionless under staring eyes but showed no embarrassment, only unsettling serenity from surviving worse storms. Patricia Weston approached with poisonous friends. "Victoria, how long did choosing that dress take? Must have been challenging." "Actually," Victoria said calmly, "this dress has special history. It was my mother's." "Her mother?" Vivian laughed nastily. "Where'd she get it? Some fancy thrift store?" Victoria smiled dangerously. "My mother last wore this in a ballroom like this 20 years ago, when she was still Victoria Tempest Blackwood." Deafening silence fell. Richard turned slowly, smile frozen. "What did you say?" "Tempest Blackwood." Victoria's voice cut sharply. "Funny how people forget family history." Richard paled. Helena grabbed his arm, sensing disaster. "You're delirious," Richard said weakly. The grand hall of the Blackwood mansion buzzed with a cruel sort of energy as Victoria Sterling made her way down the marble staircase. The dress she wore, a cascade of midnight silk, cost more than most of the guests earned in a year. But the whispers that followed her weren't of admiration. They were pure mockery. "Look who decided to grace us with her presence," Richard Blackwood sneered, raising his champagne flute to his cronies. "Our dear cleaning lady." Victoria, a woman of 35, with eyes that had seen far too much, had never imagined she'd enter this ballroom as a guest. For 2 long years, she had polished every inch of this mansion. She was the invisible woman, the silent observer, watching the ultra-rich exchange false pleasantries while treating her like a piece of furniture. The invitation had been a deliberate act of cruelty. 3 days earlier, Richard had handed her the gilded envelope with a smirk. "Charity gala on Saturday," he'd announced. "Black tie, maximum elegance. I'm sure you have something suitable, don't you?" His friend's laughter had echoed off the marble floors. It was a trap, a public spectacle designed to humiliate her. Richard had even tipped off a few reporters, promising them an educational moment. "I'll bet you 100,000, Richard had smugly told his wife Helena as Victoria vacuumed nearby. "She won't even show up. And if she does, she'll be the evening's entertainment." Helena had laughed, a sound like shattering glass. "Oh, the poor thing will probably wear something borrowed and scurry out in 15 minutes, absolutely mortified." But Richard Blackwood was ignorant of 2 crucial facts about Victoria. First, she had grown up in halls just like this one, long before she found herself cleaning them to survive. And second, some storms don't just break you, they teach you how to dance in the rain. As Victoria moved through the sea of mocking glances, her posture was perfect, her gaze serene. She was a woman carrying secrets that could detonate this gilded world. Each step was deliberate, part of a choreography she had been rehearsing for years. "My God, she actually came," whispered Patricia Weston, a senator's wife, to her friend. "Where on earth did she get that dress?" "Probably rented it on a payment plan," sneered Vivian Chambers, an oil heiress. "How pathetic." They couldn't know the truth. Victoria hadn't bought, borrowed, or rented the gown. She had simply retrieved it from her past, a past that Richard would do anything to erase if he only knew. He approached her then, his chest puffed out with arrogance, a circle of his billionaire buddies in tow. "Victoria, what a surprise. It's not every day someone like you gets an invitation like this." "Someone like me," Victoria repeated, her voice soft but cutting like silk. "Finish your sentence, Richard." He faltered for a split second, taken aback by her firm tone, but his arrogance quickly returned. "Well, you know, someone not from this world. You must feel a bit intimidated by all this elegance." A dangerous smile played on Victoria's lips. "Intimidated? No, Richard. I'm exactly where I've always belonged." A brief, heavy silence fell over their little group. The atmosphere of the party shifted. Something in Victoria's calm defiance was setting everyone on edge. Richard cleared his throat, trying to regain control. "Well, I hope you enjoy the evening. It should be educational for you." "Oh, I'm certain it will be," Victoria replied, her eyes scanning the crowd. "Educational for everyone." Seizing the moment, Richard tapped his glass for attention. "Everyone, may I have your attention? Let's give a warm welcome to our special guest for the evening, Victoria, our cleaning lady." The room erupted in cruel, braying laughter. The flash of phone cameras went off as socialites captured the moment for their snarky social media posts. "Richard, darling," Helena cooed, feigning concern, "aren't you being a little cruel?" "Cruel? I'm giving her the opportunity of a lifetime," he roared with laughter. Through it all, Victoria stood motionless under the barrage of stares. There was no trace of embarrassment on her face, only an unsettling serenity, the kind forged by surviving storms far worse than this one. Patricia Weston, flanked by her gossiping friends, slinked over. "Victoria, darling, how long did it take you to choose that dress? It must have been quite a challenge." "Actually," Victoria said, her voice still unnervingly calm, "this dress has a special history. It belonged to my mother." "Her mother?" Vivian Chambers laughed nastily. "Where did she get it? Some upscale thrift store?" Victoria's smile sharpened, turning lethal. "My mother last wore this dress in a ballroom very much like this one 20 years ago, back when she was still Victoria Temps Blackwood." A deafening silence crashed down upon the hall. Every head turned. Richard, his smile frozen on his face, slowly pivoted to face her. "What? What did you just say?" "Temps Blackwood," Victoria repeated, her voice now sharp as a shard of glass. "It's funny, isn't it? The way people forget their own family history." The color drained from Richard's face. Helena grabbed his arm, her eyes wide with panic, sensing the ground crumbling beneath them. "You're delirious," Richard managed to say, his voice a weak tremor. "Am I?" Victoria's gaze swept over the stunned crowd. "My mother was your father's first wife, the one he cast aside with nothing when he met your mother. He erased her, and by extension he erased me. But you can't erase blood, Richard. You can't erase history." She took a step forward, the power in the room now hers completely. "For 2 years I've cleaned your floors, scrubbed your toilets, and listened to you mock the very name I carry. You invited me here tonight for your amusement, to humiliate the cleaning lady. But the joke isn't on me." Her eyes locked with his. "The joke is on you, Richard, because the cleaning lady you tried to shame is the rightful heir to half of everything you own, and I have the documents to prove it. This isn't just a party. It's a reclamation." The silence that followed was absolute, a void where mockery had once thrived. In that moment, Victoria was no longer the invisible woman. She was a storm, and she had finally come to collect. What a powerful story of justice and identity. If you were moved by Victoria's incredible stand, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button for more stories that will leave you speechless. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.